So I'm having a spontaneous talk. I'm nicking Lisa's slot. Oh, thank you. Hey, Kurt. Nicking Lisa's slot because she's away. And yeah, and I've just sort of popped on, and I've been out all day in the sun, so I'm like, but anyway, here I am. And I wanted to talk about surprisingly non-duality, because there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. There's nothing going to happen. Nobody knows this. Nobody knows it. Doesn't matter what they say, because it's just appearing as somebody appearing to know something. But nobody knows this. How can anybody know this? It's just a joke. It's a joke. It's just total freefall of just what's happening. Nothing's going on. There's no me. There's no me. All these things are just totally irrelevant. Like, people get fixated on having no me, but there isn't no me anyway. It's just an appearance. It's just an appearance called me, and it's no big deal. Not really. Appears like a big deal, but it's not. It's life as it is. There's no problem with the me being there. Well, appearance of me. It calls itself me, but it's not. It's just an appearance of feeling separate. And there's this big hang-up about it. Really, it is just what's happening. And the hang-up is just what's happening. It's a hang-up about nothing. That might offend a few people. But it really is. Life appears as it is. Whether there's a me there or not is irrelevant. And those who seem to have no me, which is rubbish, don't know it, don't know anything. Just speaking happens. Just talking about the obvious happens. There's no super knowledge that's gained. There's nothing that's gained. There's nothing special. Nothing special. Either everything's special or nothing is special. Hey, thanks. Some of my charity shop finds. So all these stories that are going on about me, and I have to find it, and I have to get it, they're just stories that happen. And they come with an energy of like, this is real, this is true, but that's just what's happening. There's nothing real or true about it. It's just life happening, life appearing as those stories. When they're not there, they're just not there. When they appear, oh my God, they're so real, but it's nothing. There is no me, there is no me. All of it is just totally irrelevant. People in non-duality get bogged down with this stuff about having no me. Get really, truly, like, think it's a big thing that has to happen, but nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's just the end of that chapter. It's the end of it. It doesn't matter if it's the end of it or not. It's just all irrelevant. It's just too free. It's too free to be anything in particular. There's no difference between a me and a wall, or a bird, or a floor. It's all the same thing. Even all the interactions and emotions and feelings that go on within everything. It's just the same thing. It's just perceived as it's happening to me. It's not happening to anybody. Me and the happening are the same thing. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Move that way of the camera. Like a bit windswept today. How great is that? There's nothing to get. There's nothing to go towards. Even seeming to go towards something is just what's happening. It's too simple. This getting bogged down with me's and no me's and selves and no selves, it's just irrelevant. It's not important. It just appears as being important. I'm open to questions, by the way, if anybody will comments or anything like that. I'm thinking of doing twice a week, but I can't find a decent slot because it's kind of busy during the week. Lisa on Wednesdays and Rebecca on Thursday. And hopefully Ella will be back soon giving talks as well. So it's a busy week. Maybe Tuesdays. We'll see. The freedom is everything. The freedom is even the me. The freedom is the me. Can't be seen from that perspective because it just looks from a perspective, but it isn't that there's a me there. It's just a perspective happening. I only know that because I remember it. Just make that a bit bigger. Hey, Ramona. Let's move my windows about. I'm sitting for an hour with eyes closed, kind of feeling the resistance go into the body, uncomfortable. And somehow it does give relief. Relief to simply feel the bum on the seat and see the head telling stories. Yeah, because that's all that's happening. And seeing that is what's happening. It's all one conglomerate of this. It's all the one conglomerate. All of it. Seeing it happening, bum on seat, hot from being in the sun, or whatever. The uncomfortable feeling, there's nothing else. That's all there is. And then it changes into something else. Changes into a distraction or something. And then the appearance that calls itself me, it's not me. There is no person. There's no person. Just sort of make stories about it. Looking for a way out. It's just looking for a way out happening. None of it is anything. There's no movement from one thing to the next. There just isn't. It's just one continuous kind of just what's happened, just this. It's just one continuous this. Not even continuous. You can't even put your finger on it. No one knows it. No speaker knows it. It's freer than knowing. There's no knowing of anything. Freedom from knowing. Even that's like, well, so what? Life just simply is, as it is. Sitting here, speaking, listening, thinking, feeling, seeking, heat, cold, bum on seat. Can never be anything else, ever. It never has. You just gotta take a look at it. It's never been anything else, has it? It's just always what is. And even the deepening, there is a kind of a deepening. You know, I can see it here. I can see there's a kind of a deepening. I can't really explain it, but it's like, so what? It's no big deal. It's still just life appearing as deepening, or life appearing as not deepening, life appearing as I feel far away from it, which is illusory because you can't get far away from anything, because feeling far away is it. It's always it, all the time. I have to admit, I'm trying to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling, like hoping to, instead of going into solving the feeling in the head, I go into it and give it attention like water. Yeah, but that's included, isn't it? That's included. It doesn't matter whether you go into it or not. It's still the same thing. It just appears as if it's something else, but it's not. Even having to admit that you're trying to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling, is it still? There's no right and wrong. There's nothing that's excluded in this thing we call life. Wherever you try to look out of it or try to get away from it, yeah, it's included. However you try to get out of it and all these feelings of doing this and that, is still it. It's still the life appearing as that. And feeling like it's happening to me. That's just a feeling. It's just a sense, a very deep sense that it's me. But it isn't. Yeah, I love that too, Ramona. Because it is just one. Not oneness in a kind of a conceptual way. We are all one. There is no we. There is only one. There's only one. Not one being or one person or one awareness or what anything like that. There's just one. And in that is everything. All the tricks of the mind and the seeking is it. All the feeling there's something wrong with that I need to get rid of this, is just still the one. What freedom is that? It's a wonder that life appears as feeling separate. It's a wonder that life appears as mountains, as anything, all of it. Oh, thank you, Val. Yeah, because really it's just amazing, even when it's not amazing, even when it's just making tea or going to the shop, even when it's not amazing, it's like it's life happening. I mean, what the hell? And everyone's in the same boat. There isn't anybody who knows more. There isn't anybody who knows less, because there isn't anybody. And all those who say they know what? What do they know? They know that life's happening. All you can do is point to the illusion that even though it feels like I don't understand, or I don't get, or it can be pointed to, that is not actually a me. That is just life appearing as that. It's just another ingredient in the pot. All the different appearances, changes, circumstances, all of that is the one pot. And there's nobody who knows more. People bow at these people's feet like they know something. How can they know anything? What is there to know? Knowing is just a happening. If it's there, it's not really knowing. How can it be? Passes. Everything passes. Everything moves, changes. There's no solid state to anything. I mean, even look at the body. We were children and teenagers and young adults and now aging. Nothing stands still. Even the body, when it's sleeping, the heart beats and it breathes and it has dreams and thoughts. Nothing ever stands still. It's not moving towards anything. It's just this aliveness that just is. It just is. When there's no seeking there, it's sufficient. It's complete. Because it can't be anything else. It can't be anything but complete. No matter what story is happening about incompleteness, it's still complete. Because it just appears that way. Hi, CD. Description of life, what is, seems to be a reminder of what was like before, reconstruct since early childhood. It seems like that. It seems like that because there was no sense of seeking for a better me. But really, in reality, it's still the same. It's still the same. Nothing's actually moved. Not really. Not in time. It's not I was a child and I lost the freedom and now I'm looking for the freedom. It's just however it appears. In reality, you never lost anything. Appearing as a sense of me is complete. It's too free. And I understand the struggle that happens when the mind goes, but I'm not free, I don't feel free. But really, that is aliveness being expressed as that. Hi, Kasaba. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. So there is no decision making by me. All the worries about them are just added slideshow. It's a question. I'll start the first bit. So there is no decision making by me. No, just a claiming. A claiming. Because you'll find the decisions are made and you won't be thinking about the me at all. They'll just be made. All the worries about them are just added somehow. Yes. Yes, it's just added, just as you say, an added slideshow. But they're it too. Can't exclude any of this stuff. I know that some do, but I can't see the exclusion. Obviously, it's more relaxing to not have that seeking energy, but it's just something that changes. It's not a person. It's not true. Struggle with options. The struggle with options is happening. That's life appearing as struggling with options. You see, what happens is we try to. You can't work it out, because working it out is also it. We're trying to work this out. This doesn't need working out. The couch will remain the couch, whether there's working it out or not. It won't change a thing. That's optimistic. Even the sense of separation is a wonder. Doesn't feel amazing. Does feel those uncomfortable feelings and resistance are mine, like a wild horse stuck in a shoebox, claiming yes. Yeah. Yeah. Kaseba, so you mean it's just happening by itself? Well, that's all that is found here. This is all happening by itself. Yeah, I mean, what else is doing it? There's nobody doing it. There's nobody putting the wall there or the feet on the ground. Nobody's making me be very hot. Nobody's making the clouds move. Nobody's making the space between things. It's all happening on its own. It just is life happening. There's nobody in it that's doing anything. This is where the suffering comes in, because the me feels like it has to be in control. It has to be a better me. I have to be a better me, and the ultimate me is the free me. But the me is not a me. It's just a label we put to it. It's a claiming energy of being somebody who's alive and who is separate and has control and can work it out and can get to this ultimate goal, which will be the end of it all, which will be the final end called enlightenment. And none of that is true. Not as far as I can see. It's just not true. All there is the freedom. Wow, there is no one to express free will. No, it's just illusory that I have free will. Free will to do what? Saber. So feeling a struggle by me is actually just seeming struggle. It's just struggle, yeah. Yeah, struggling happening. It's actually aliveness. It's aliveness. And aliveness can also appear as somebody going to get help to stop struggling. But the struggle to be free of this thing called me is a hamster wheel. You can't find that freedom. Not personally. There's no personal freedom. Because, you know, as they say, shit happens. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is in this life. No one's free of that. because it's all the one. It's all the one happening. The human living its life and the things that happen around it in perfect synchronicity, perfect. There is no ownership, you say. Only the appearance of ownership. Ownership of what? Of this computer? Of this space? Of the light? I own me? Me is ownership of me? They're all just illusory and concepts and stories. Nothing owns anything. There is nobody to own anything. It's just whatever is happening at the time. We think that I own it, but it's not true, is it? You know, I have this house. I could say I own this house. But it's not really true. It's just a convention that we say that. I own the house. There is no I to own the house. It's just a body living in a house. Nothing actually owns the house. There's a bit of paper with my name on it, but so what? You know, might get a flash flood this winter and there's the end of the house. You know, now I don't own a house. I never owned a house in the first place. Ramona, yes. Control, trying to become better me in time, yes. Trying to work it out, yes. But the couch stays to be the couch. It won't change. Thanks so much for my effort working out and controlling the couch. Yeah, yeah. You could say, okay, now I'm going to destroy the couch. I've got control of the couch. Then it'll just be a body next to a controlled couch, a destroyed couch. Nothing moved, nothing changed. Seems like there's control. It's control appearing. It's not true. There's no control. Couldn't control being born, can't control dying. And the illusion that I control anything in between is illusory. It's just really believed. I think that's what it is. I don't really know. It's a sense of ownership. Saber. I mean, all the struggle I feel I'm having a hard time to decide in a matter is bollocks. I wouldn't say anything is bollocks or not bollocks. That's just the way it appears. Yeah, but nobody's doing it, that's right. It's just appearing like that. It appears like I am struggling. It's me having a hard time. In reality, it's just struggle happening. Having a hard time is happening, and me owning it is happening. It's neither bollocks or not bollocks. No, you don't do it because I think I get it. It's great when that light bulb goes on, isn't it? It's just like, oh yeah. It's lovely when the obviousness of it just like goes, oh, of course. It's just all being made up, isn't it? It's all just being made up. I'm struggling, me or no me, makes no difference. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. It matters to me, of course, but in reality, it doesn't matter. This life is in just total free fall, ungraspable. Happens what happens. I might feel that I did it. Yeah, but it'll just be I might feel I did it. Nothing did anything. That's the ownership thing, isn't it? That's like the claiming that I did it. It was me. I was in control of it all. For me, this sense of self just wants to control everything. That's how it stays. It's basically a sense of insecurity. Of that I feel separate, I feel insecure, and therefore I have to control everything. And it's a stress. That is a stress. And yet, it's life. It's all life. All of it. That's why I don't give advice. Advice for what? There's nothing going to go anywhere. Not in what I'm speaking about. You know, you can go to a therapist and get advice, and they'll give you advice to go and do things, and you go and do it, and that seems to happen. But when I speak, I'm not speaking to a separate self. I don't talk to separate selves in these talks, because there isn't any separate selves. I'm just talking to the human. The human is not a separate self. The human might think there's a separate self, or might feel there is, or there might be a contracted sense there. But that's all it is. And I'm not talking to that contracted sense. I'm talking to the human. Mona, this is funny. I now found myself making notes about no ownership and having no control. Haha. I was writing down and just wrote, can't work it out. It's uncrustable and started laughing. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, sometimes it's when you talk about it, you know, when you talk about it to other people, you have a conversation, and you know, we've talked about it. And somehow it can undermine that sense of self, because we're not talking to the sense of self, are we? We're undermining it. Okay, no, there is no control. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. It makes no difference if you take notes or not. You know, it's but there can be a sense there, you know. That's why, you know, someone like Tony says, the only advice I can give you is to keep going to non-duality talks, because it just undermines it and undermines it and undermines it. And the human hears it. Whatever the human is, not a me, it's just a human. Just is heard. It's just heard. You know, gets past the illusion somehow. And there's always that potential, isn't there, that illusion just not being there anymore. And there'll be no big me explosion. There might be sort of, you know, a sense of something's changed, but there won't be anything personal in it. Nothing will happen for me. Nothing. Because it never was a me. When I look back at this life, and I remember Lisa, there had been something here believed that I was somebody, that I had to get somewhere, and that I had to find a better me, a bigger me, a no me, a this or that. And I look back at that. It's honestly just like remembering an old movie. It's no big deal. Yet it's only a big deal to the thing that's looking for it. I'm literally dripping. It's so hot. Oh my God. This heat wave doesn't seem to abate. CD. So this human being's only job is to simply observe everything. Observe the mind, observe all appearances, observe all that's happening. That might be all there really is to do. Well, I think it's actually better than that. There's nothing that needs to be observed. You can observe it if you want, but it won't make any difference. There's appearances, yeah, I don't need to observe appearances. There's just what's happening. There's no need to observe it because it's already happening. It's already here. I don't need to observe the chat screen. I don't need to observe it. I is still a sense of I need to do something. Does the chat screen need observing? Or is it clearly already there? Observing it's just, it's utterly superfluous. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not needed. I mean, as I think it's actually would be very tiring observing everything that's happening. I'm thinking probably, well, if it was me, I would get bored very quickly. Oh, exhausting, observing, observing, observing. I'd rather just go make a cup of tea and watch a movie, not observe anything. There's no need to observe anything. It's just freer than that. It's free, everything is just free to be what it is. It doesn't need observing. That's just another me concept. I have to observe it. You don't, it's more enjoyable it's just more enjoyable just going about your day, not observing anything. You know, when I'm painting pictures, there's nothing that needs to observe it. There's just painting of pictures. In fact, observing it would get in the way if that would be the case here, which is not. That would actually get in the way of enjoying painting a picture or enjoying making a meal. You know, the simple things in life. Just the enjoyment of the life. The seeking energy of observing everything would be very tiring. That's why people can't stay in this so-called awareness thing, witnessing, because it's just me waiting for something to happen. That's usually what happens. The sense of self, separate self, is looking, observing, trying to be aware, trying to witness. Well, it's the same thing, and it can't stay in it. It's too exhausting. And it's not true, it's just another illusion. It's a waiting. If I observe hard enough, I will see. No, I will not see anything. I am not even looking. It's just a misconception of perception. Excuse me, I'm absolutely boiling. Saber, being a seeker is not a decision, so no point in talking about it, but it happens. Yeah, being a seeker is just what happens. Lisa was a seeker for years, but then again, Lisa was a... what else was I? What else was happening here? Was somebody's girlfriend? Was somebody's... I don't know. Was into macrobiotic cooking for a while. She was a seeker for a long while. Nothing wrong with seeking. In fact, it can't be helped. But it's just seeking happening. They can't make the decision to give up seeking or to seek. Seeking's going to happen. Seeking's going to happen in all its subtle ways. Because as far as I'm concerned, the seeking energy was so subtle, tricky, clever, elusive. Then you were not just seemed like, yeah, it just seemed like it. It'd be like watching an old movie in the head. Oh, excuse me. Oh, God. It just seemed like there was somebody there. Now it's just life as it is. And it was always life as it is, of course. But now it's just life as it is without looking for it. Without any sense of somebody who needs to look for it. It's nothing, it's nothing, actually. Oh, and yet everything. But everything already is. Everything's here. Here it is. Here it is. Everything is appearing as we're sitting or standing or lying on a bed or whatever, wherever we are. Everything, this is everything. This is it. I can hear the me, you know. I remember the me here used to say, "Ah, this can't be it, this can't be it. Must be something else." Didn't see the wonder, didn't see the wonder of this life appearing as it is. Ramona, undermines equals you means the one that's listening will take the message as the person. Where it will be at that moment, and the message never was for the person anyway. So the message undermines the person. Yeah, it can do, yeah. Yeah, it can do. Yeah. You can take out the underpinning. It just can reveal it. It can reveal the illusory nature. Yeah. There might be a looking at that, listening to it with that sense of I need to get this as well. But there's also just a hearing it, and that can take out the underpinning, you know, and expose the nature, the illusory nature of separation, which is all it is. And it feels like such a big thing for the illusion, for the illusory nature. But it's not. You can just expose that it's just a kind of a, what's the expression, oh, I had it a minute ago. Yeah, maybe an apparition. I can't. There's a little phrase, but I forgot it. Saber, no way out. No one is there to want to escape. Just an energetic feeling of somebody wanting to escape, right? Yes. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Ramona, big nothing. Yeah, big old nothing. We have this saying in the UK, storm in a teacup. The sense of self is a storm in a teacup. It's a mountain out of a molehill. It's all much ado about nothing. Yeah. Oh, wish I could remember that phrase. Anyway, it's one they use in movies sometimes. Actually, it is not there. No. No. It's no more there than anything else. It just appears there, and then it's not there, and then it is there, and it's not there. It's just more like it just is there, appearing, but it's nobody. But it's not what it thinks it is. It's not a me. It's not a person. It's not a life form. There is only aliveness forming. Not a life form. as a separate form. The energetic feeling is happening to be there or not. Yes. Yes. And there's nothing that energetic feeling can do about it. It's either there or it's not there. You know, when a baby's born, apparently there's no one there. We don't go and adorn it with flowers and kiss its feet. Actually, I'd rather kiss the feet of a baby. Cute little feet. You know, there's nobody there. Are they the guru? The guru is saying there's nobody there. Then they're no different from a baby. You can't say nobody's there anyway. I mean, I can't say there's nobody here. There isn't anybody to be there or not be there. It's just so illusory, the whole thing. The simplicity of it is just, it's astounding. Astounding. I don't know how long I've been here. Oh, apparently I started 45 minutes ago. Okay. We might all go home, as poet Tony Parsons would say. We might all go home. We might all go home. I don't know what he means by that. Hi, Amin. But there is a person. There are humans. And this feeling in a human of being a person and struggling as a person, it's not true because it's not always there, and sometimes it goes forever. So then what do you call yourself? Are you still a person? Are you still a person? When there's no sense of self there, are you still a person? Conventionally, you can call yourself a person. Of course, we're all persons, as in humans. But the sense of self, that I am separate from everything because I am a person here and here, living in here, that is the illusion. Because it's not always there, is it? It's not always there. It's not there all day. Comes up, goes away, comes up, goes away, goes dormant, comes back. If we were really persons, we'd be a person 24/7. Oh yeah, Kaseva, yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's always that possibility of someone going, oh yeah, that's not really true. It's not true. It can get, it's like the torch gets shone on it and it's exposed for what it is. And it can either go away or stay. Meaninglessness of finding out. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah. It's like it's not there. And then it's just like, well, what was the big thing about? What was the big thing? What was this massive nirvana I've been working towards? What's this heaven? What's this? Where's all the sparkly lights and illumination and knowledge about everything that ever existed? Where is it all? These are all these like enlightenment stories, that there's something that I will get. I will get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You get to the end of the rainbow. Not that you do, this is just an analogy. Get to the end of the rainbow and there's nothing there. It was always an illusion. Rainbows are just, they're nothing, are they? You can't touch them. They're just, it's a trickle of light. As far as I know. I don't actually really know what rainbows are, but it's lovely. Something to do with light, colour, prisms. But as an analogy, you get to the end of the rainbow, where's my pot of gold? Where is it? can say, but I've been listening to non-duality for years. It is a joke. It is. It is. Because nothing's moved, has it? Nothing's moved. It's still this. We never got anywhere. We never moved. All the years of practice and, well, not even meditation. Actually, meditation happens more now, actually. But it's not meditation. It's just like sleeping when you're awake. But all that meditation and intention and waiting for the glimmer of the moment, the energetic feeling, the this, the that, amounted to nothing. Because it's still this. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, the exposing of it is so brilliant, isn't it? It's wonderful. It's just so, just, oh, well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Yeah. I can almost feel you through the words on the screen. Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? It's funny. I always call it the facepalm moment. It's just like, oh my God, of course, of course, of course, of course. How could I have missed it? And then that whole illusion. Oh, thank you. Then the whole thing, just like a deck of cards. The whole illusion just comes tumbling down. And that can be pretty weird for the body for a bit, but it's okay. It's no different from, I don't know, any change, you know, any change in the human can be a bit struggle on the brain and the body, a bit of catching up to do. Because, you know, the body and the physiology has been living a certain way for such a long time. It's got its mindset, you know, the mindset. It's like imagine it's grooved over the same groove for so many years. It's got deeper and deeper and deeper. And when everything is changed, when there's that perspective is no longer there, the whole brain body system just goes, what the hell? Because it's like you got no feet, you got no ground. So it takes a bit of adjustment. And it's not about enlightenment, it's not about awakening or anything like that. It's literally just a readjustment. It's so simple. It's a readjustment. It seems like, wow, something's happening, there's all these experiences, and yeah, they're there. And there can be this sense of, oh no, I'm not going to talk about bliss. No. But there can be this readjustment. And of course, you know, the human is plonked in a completely new country with a completely different culture, different language. There's a kind of a certain adjustment that has to happen, like a culture shock maybe. You know? So these experiences can happen, but they don't mean anything. Because it's still life happening as that. And the sense of self can just get really fixated on that. Fixated on bliss. And it's a red herring. All these experiences about bliss and this and that are red herrings. And the bee just chases after all the herrings. It's always after the herrings. Bliss, awakening, nirvana, all that stuff. Gurus, massive red herring. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of that, of course. I have nothing against gurus. I've seen gurus myself, been a guru goer myself. But it can be such a distraction. you know, because it's not really, it's too much focused on the guru. That's what happens there. CD. When I was a small child, when I saw trees, clouds, grass, peonies, my crib, the window, there was not a feeling of separation. There was no constructed separate self in the way. Yeah, exactly. It's just as it is, isn't it? It's just as it is. And if you were sitting there without a self, you would say the same thing. There's just computer, space, light, hands, heat, walls, light, sun coming through the window. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. And when you were there, CD, as that child, you know, crib, peonies, grass, clouds, there was no feeling of it being something special, was it? There was no sense of it being special, that you had reached somewhere, that it was for you. It was just literally what was there. Just what was there. And it's the same now, isn't it? It's just sitting on a chair or a bed or wherever you're sitting, or standing or driving or whatever. Nothing's changed. And this sense of separation feels so insecure sometimes that it needs to find completion. I think that's going to be special. But it's not special. It's just like reverting back to exactly as you said. There was no feeling of anything. Feelings might arise, hunger, cry, leave my mom, leave my dad, you know, those feelings. But then are different from the peonies in the crib and the grass. It's just exactly just what's happening in utter perfection, exactly how it should be happening. Yeah, constructed separation self in the way, yeah. It literally is, yeah. And yet, it's no different from the grass and the clouds and the peonies. In reality, it's just still what's happening. It's still the same. Can't see how long I've been live for. Okay. Unless there's any more questions, I really need to go and have a cold shower. But it's been lovely to come on and just do this spontaneous broadcast. And I've really enjoyed it. And it's so, there's a passion here as well. There is a passion here. But you know, passion is great. I love passion. Love it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me, and people who I haven't seen before as well. It's been really great. I always enjoy it, the interaction and comments and questions. I will enjoy my cold shower. Thank you. Okay, well, I'll be back on Sunday night at 8:30 Spanish time, and hopefully see some of you then. Lots of love. Bye. Mwah.